In this video, I'm going to be walking through how to do some basic editing on your BoxCast site. For the first part of the video, I'm going to be showing you how to do it in our Flex editor. If you're using our classic editor, just jump ahead to the time on the screen. If you look in the top right hand corner and see Flex mode, that means you're in our Flex editor. If you don't see that, you're in our classic editor. The last thing I'd like to tell you before we get started is that when you're done making changes to your site, hit publish in the top right corner so that your changes can be live on your website. Let's start by adding a new page. So if we go up to pages and hit add page, you can select an empty page or you can select from one of our templates here. So let's just do an empty page. Now, naming the page is really important because it's going to be attached to the URL for this page. So if we name this page live streaming, you will see live streaming in the URL, which I'll show you in a second. So let's add page. And if you ever need to customize this page or rename it, simply just click the gear icon and you'll see there's a bunch of options here. Now back to our page URL, you'll see that it says live-streaming. Now one thing to note is if you change the name of this page, you're gonna need to go in here and change the page URL. But as you can see, you can do some page SEO, you can set page access, and you can change some header HTML. And if you ever need to delete the page, simply click the gear icon and click delete. Now that we're back on the home screen, I'm gonna show you how to change some text directly on the screen. So whatever Flex section you'd like to change text for, hover over it and simply just click on it. Once you do that, you'll see that you can hover over the text option, and once you double click, you're able to change text. So let's just say I want to change this to watch our live stream. You can also change the font, the color, and all the other text options right here. Once I'm done, hit confirm. Now let's move on and add an image to our website. There are two types of images you can add. You can add a background image or you can add an image from a widget. You're seeing what a background image looks like right here at the top of the screen. Now let's add another one to a different section. So if we scroll down and we select the section from students to ministries and we click on Flex, you'll see on the right hand side we have a couple options for spacing, size, animation, and background. So once we select image and we hit add, you'll see that you can upload an image here or you can select from one of the images that's already preloaded. You can also search for images. So let me search for students. And let's just say I like this one. So let me actually replace this image since that doesn't work too well. I'll hit replace and let's select this one here. There we go, much better. So now let's add an image from a widget. So if we scroll up and we pick our section, I'm gonna select this connect with people like you. And when I select it, you're gonna wanna click right here to add a column. This is just giving you a space to add a widget. So if we go over to widgets and we select image here, we can just drag it right there. And now you'll see we have that same pop-up as before. You can upload an image here, or you can select from one of the images already loaded. So let's select this one. What's nice about adding an image via a widget is it's much more customizable. So you can see over here, we have things like align, spacing, size, animation, and layout. So if we go to align, you can see you can make it left aligned, center, or right aligned. Now, that only matters once you start changing the size. So as you can see, it's right aligned, and once I change the width, it moves over there, or I can make it center, and it moves to the center. So you can mess around with all these settings to get the image in the exact spot that you'd like. Now let's add widgets to the website. So in this case, I'm gonna add a contact form. So if I scroll down, I'm gonna add my contact form to where it says our #1 church community. To start, I need to add a column. So if I click here and hit add column, you'll see it's ready for a widget. So if I go to the widgets area over here, you'll see we have a ton of widgets that will help your website come to life. But if I scroll back up, and actually I can just search for contact form, it will pop up right here. And once I drag it over the site, you'll see that we have a ton of custom options for this particular widget here, and also a lot of the same options that you saw with adding an image. So you can change the sizing, the spacing, aligning, you can change the animation of how it comes on the screen. You can even change things like frame and style. So if I want to add a little border, I can do that. And as you can see with most of our widgets, we'll give you the ability to customize them to fit your website. Now, if your BoxCast site has a classic editing mode, you're going to want to follow these steps to do some basic changes. Let's start by adding a new page. So if we go to pages and click add page, you can select from one of the templates here or select empty page. So let's just select that. Now the page name is really important because this is what the page URL is also going to be, which I'll show you in a second. So I just named this page live streaming. So once I hit add page, you'll see that you get redirected to this page and you can now start adding things to it. Now, if you ever need to edit this page, simply just go over to the gear icon here and you can rename it, duplicate it, or like I mentioned, check the page URL. So if you go to page URL, you'll see that it says live-streaming. Now, if you ever change the name of this page, you will need to change the page URL. You can do other things in here too, like look at page SEO, site page access, or change some header HTML. And if you ever need to delete the page, simply just click the gear icon again and hit delete. Now that we're back on the home page, let's actually change some text. So all you're going to want to do is find the text you'd like to change. So let's say we want to change upcoming events. You double click it and you just type in exactly what you want. So let's just call it join us for these events. And you can also see you can change the color, you can change the font size, and once you're done, hit the green check. Now let's talk about changing an image. There are two types of images that you need to know about when using sites. One is a background image, and that's what you're seeing on the screen right now. And the next one is adding an image via a widget. Let's start with changing a background image. So if we scroll down and pick an area we want to add a background image, let's just say we do it right here where it says join on Sundays. So if we click on the row, you'll see that we have a couple different row design options. And if we go to background, we'll click image. Now, if we hit the little plus sign, you'll see that we could upload an image here, or we can actually select one of the images from our gallery. So let's pick an image that will work for this. How about this one? And once we hit done, you'll see the image pop up here. Feel free to change some of the style settings to get your image looking just how you like. Next, let's add an image via a widget. So if we scroll down and let's say we pick the area request for prayer. Now, you're going to need to add a column. So I'm going to right click on my mouse and it's going to allow me to add a column here. This will give me a space to add that widget. So if we scroll over to widgets and we find our image widget, all we need to do is drag it over and insert it here. Now we'll have the same options as the background widget where we can upload an image or we can select from our gallery. So again, let's just say we select this one here. You'll have some of the same design features where you'll have different layouts, style, animation, and spacing. So feel free to use those to get your image just right. Lastly, let's show you how to add a widget to your website. Now we have a ton of powerful widgets that can be added to your site, and you can find them by just clicking widgets over here. You can scroll down and look for widgets, or you can search for them at the top of the screen. But for this video, I'm going to show you how to add a contact form. So let's pick the spot we want to add a form. So if we scroll down, I'm going to put it right here where it says reach out today. Now we're going to need to add a column. So we're going to want to right click on our row, hit add column, and you'll see that this will create a space for our widget. So if we go over to widgets and we just drag our contact form here, so you can do a little bit of customization to these widgets. So let's actually go over to the design tab. And first, I don't like how it's translucent, so let me add something in the background. So if we go to frame style, you'll see that there's a color and an image option. So I'm going to do color, and I just want to select gray. And now you can see you can read the contact form a little bit better. And you can really make this widget come to life with whatever settings you'd like. So that's it. Those are some basic editing things you can do inside of BoxCast sites. And if you have any additional questions, please reach out to us at questions@boxcast.com and we'd be happy to help.